Reviewing every level in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Part 1. Warehouse is a classic for a reason because it's the perfect introduction to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. While it's missing some of the elements the series would eventually become known for this game, it's the perfect introduction and has everything you will see later on in the game. There's hills to gain speed, kickers for street tricks, half pipes and quarter pipes for vert tricks, and a few rails to grind, even a hidden one in the rafters if you want to get a little bit fancy. It doesn't offer many opportunities for long combos, but with the game's limited moveset, it wasn't really expected yet. The basic layout of the objectives works well for the very first Tony Hawk level ever made, and gives you big clear things to hit, like stacks of boxes or the very obvious secret tape. I like how some of the skate letters and boxes are placed in areas out of reach unless you learn the basic controls, because that makes sure players are ready for the rest of the game going forward. The grungy, dilapidated warehouses scream that punk rock fringe of society aesthetic that skaters embodied in the late 90s. This is a safe space for skaters, built by those skaters to practice before going out into the real world to fight against a society that just doesn't understand them, man. Most of this level is a gray box, so graphical flair is at a minimum, but the fake god rays coming through the windows does a lot to lighten up the environment. And a really cool graphical trick I noticed was the reflection in this puddle under the broken pipe. Here you can clearly see the environment reflected back, and on the PS1 that means the developers had to fake it. They would basically rebuild the environment under the map, making this puddle kind of like a transparent window that you can see the geometry underneath. If you look closely, you can see the point where it actually cuts off into darkness so the game doesn't have to render the entire level twice, and I love looking at the little tricks developers had to do back in the day to get things working on such limited hardware. Overall, Warehouse is as simple as it comes, but that also might be one of its biggest strengths. It eases people into the game so gently that anyone and everyone can just pick it up and play, and I think that's the perfect way to start what would obviously become one of the biggest franchises in gaming history.